Welcome to Hooters Hangout, new for National Madden League. A little bit of insight from some folks in the league. What you're going to see is my old stuff, talking about the league, things that happen, injuries, games, the good stuff. I have some guests from time to time. Steven's here with me tonight. He's just kind of helping me out with some IT stuff. He's the man, also the Colts. Got some videos for everybody to watch. We'll just kind of run through things for about 30 minutes. We'll try to do it every week and give you guys a little more fluff as opposed to just reading some articles. First thing you probably notice is since you see me last, grown this sick beard, some long hair. Life's good. I hope everybody else is doing good. First things first, I want to talk about some things that happened last week. You're going to see me looking left. I've got a lot of TVs here. Kind of go over what's going on. This is really going to take over my news and notes. Giants-Redskins from last week. Good win for the Giants. You know, they really needed one after a couple of bad losses. They got one last week, and then they got another one. The key thing for them really is going to be keeping AP going. 25 carries, 135 yards. I mean, that's how you get wins. And you know that the Cowboys are 4-0, and we'll get there. Packers-Bears. Heard there was a little bit of controversy here with some accused disconnects. I can tell you one thing that have been around for a long time. The Bears have been around for a long time. They don't cheat. Good win for the Packers, one that they really needed. Every year, I think the Colts are the best team until the playoffs. But the thing that surprised me is that I thought that the Titans might have been able to make a run. Hasn't worked out for them so well. They can't play any defense. They need a lot of help there. I mean, the Colts have stomped everybody they've played so far. I don't see it changing. They got some tough matchups coming up. They play the Ravens this week. That should be a good match. Speaking of the Ravens, they finally got a big loss. I guess they lost last week, but really this is probably the first time that they really looked outmatched by the Panthers. The close game against the Browns, that's to be expected. But too many turnovers for Luck. They've got to run the ball better. Lions-Jets. Aaron Rodgers goes down. Chase Daniels is undefeated. Never thought you'd see that. And we're going to kind of look at some things why later on in the show. But if Chase can keep doing what he's doing, I think this team's got a good chance with Rodgers coming back in a few weeks to make a push going forward. Game of the week, Bucs-Steelers. A lot of people really thought the Bucs were going to hand this one to the Steelers, and I was surprised that he won. I mean, I was one of the big guys that thought, they're good friends. Scott needed to win a little bit more, but John went out and he did a job. Sure, he didn't try to injure anybody, just took a lead, coasted for the most part. Disappointment of the week is going to be Jacksonville. And I'll show you some things later on as well that they should be doing, that I feel they should be doing, that they're not. Spent a lot of time with him over the weekend to kind of get him up and just show him what he should be doing with his personnel that he's not. I think he's doing a little bit too much big formations. He's really trying to throw the ball a little deep too much. But they're in some trouble at 1-3. I thought they were a playoff team this year, and I'm just really not thinking it anymore. Eagles-Niners, not much to say there. The Eagles did what I thought they did. They beat San Fran. They're trying to keep up. NFC East could be very tough this year. Falcons-Vikings. Vikings won. No shock there. They look good. Well, it'll be interesting to see if they trade away Peyton Manning, if they just keep him on the bench. If they play them both, I mean, maybe they trade Brady, maybe they trade Manning. I don't know, but it's not a bad problem to have, especially we've seen all the quarterbacks that have gone down early. Cowboys look very good again. Jake Locker looked like Peyton Manning. I mean, he's 21-24, 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And really, the defense has been phenomenal. They stopped Johnny Manziel. I mean, the Saints just had a tough time. We're happy after the game. I mean, they came out in the fourth quarter on their last drive and just took a knee. Really, most dominant game by the Cowboys we've seen in a while. And then maybe one of the more important stories is what's going on with the Chiefs. Where are they? I know that he's moved a little bit. He went to the Power Bowl last year, and we just kind of wonder how far behind he's going to be when he gets back into things. He got his first loss this week. Probably maybe should have had one last week, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. I guess the Dolphins really should have played that game, but he opted for the sim, mostly because he's probably lazy. But I think that's probably your news and notes for the week. I don't think there's any big injuries from last week. I'll have to just take a look real quick. Give me a second. This is where we need a commercial break. We'll get one soon.
Well, I can break in and let you know that I did see that Dre Archer went down for 8 weeks from Pittsburgh. I think that was kind of a big loss this week.
Yeah, broken wrist. He's out 7 weeks. I mean, that's a tough one. I'm not sure exactly how much he uses him, but he's a good change of pace back, especially when you got guys that are really trying to stop D-Jacks and having a speed back that you could throw some screens or get with some draws and things like that. It's really really beneficial. Oh yeah, we forgot about one that was pretty important. LaRon Landry went down. Guy's been an animal all year for the Colts. 7 weeks is a long time, but the rookie stepped in, played well, had an interception. I don't know if there's anything else big to report. I mean, those are really your key ones from last week. You still have Rodgers out. It's amazing how many quarterbacks we've lost this early in the year. Kirk Cousins. I mean, 4, 5 starting quarterbacks. I mean, you just don't. It's probably the first time I've ever seen it. And yeah, Dre Archer, Jackson's healthy. So now I just kind of want to look at some big matchups that we might have this week, week 5, which I can't believe we're in week 5 already. Vikings, Packers, bigger for the Packers than it is the Vikings. The Vikings have been really on top of that division for a long time. The Packers got beat pretty good by the Lions, and a bad loss here is going to put them, I think, way behind. This is a must-win for the Vikings. Excuse me, the Packers. Same thing with the Titans. Big game for them. 1-4. I mean, you can't go 1-4. I think they need to run the ball. I don't know if they're going to play defense. Cleveland plays a lot of zone, so it's really tough sometimes to pass. He's got Russell Wilson. We'll see if the Browns can contain him. I know that the Titans have really moved well outside the pocket with Russell Wilson. The key is going to be stopping somebody because they haven't stopped anybody all year. Rams, Eagles, big game for both teams. I know the Rams had a bye week last week after Quitgate, as I like to call it, where they kind of doing the nice thing for the Cowboys, for me, and ended up getting a loss by accidentally quitting the game in a game that was close before the original disconnect. Texans, Cowboys, really only big because the Cowboys try to stay undefeated. The Lions, if the Lions get another win with Chase Daniels, that would be huge. That would be 4-0 under Chase Daniels, exactly where they want to be. They're neck and neck with the Vikings. They're going to have to play the Vikings at least once with Daniels, so you hope that if they lose that game that they're not too far behind Minnesota. Ravens, Colts, again, bigger game for Baltimore. This is a statement game to say that they're a contender in this AFC. There's a lot of good teams: Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Kansas City, Indianapolis. Baltimore hasn't made a believer. If they can at least keep this close, they'll get some people nervous. Steelers, Jags, going to be my upset pick, but it's always my upset pick. I always pick the Jags to win, and they always lose. The team's good. I just like I said, I don't feel that they run the personnel correctly. Cardinals, Broncos, nothing there. Chiefs, 49ers, only big if we see another sim game for the Chiefs. Getting a second loss. Luckily, I think that they really dominate most of the teams in the division. The bigger loss on a sim would have to ultimately be in an AFC West game. Jets, Chargers, nothing. I think that's probably it, in terms of big games this week. Some other games, but pretend those aren't happening. All right, what else I want to do here? Okay, this is where we're at now. I just kind of want to show everybody what I feel, big reason behind the Lions' success with Chase Daniel at the helm. Technical difficulties. Stand by. Yeah, see, we really need. I'm gonna need commercial breaks in the future. A lot of times with Rodgers, I felt that the Lions really wanted to make the deep pass. You're going to see here that he knows that Daniels doesn't have that ability, so he's going to hit an inside slant. And he's got the best wide receiver in the game. I mean, get the ball to Megatron, let Megatron make a couple people miss. Easy touchdown. He's doing smaller things. He's not trying to get the big chunks, but when he gives Megatron a chance to run, he has that ability.
Just want to let you know, Hoyt, that video didn't show up for us on this side. Of course.
That is not good.
Week one.
Week one. It's all right. You heard me. Hang on. Let's try. I'm glad that you said that. Let's try. Can you see this one?
Yeah.
You can see this?
Yes.
Okay. And you can still see it?
Yeah, it looks good.
All right, see that? We figured it out. All right, same thing here. We're going to see not trying to do too much. Rolls out. And he's just going to hit the short pass to Marshawn Lynch. Same thing. He's going to break some tackles. And no one catches him. He's not going deep. He's not trying to throw those 90-yard touchdown passes. It's not the hike and bomb. And I think that if he really can get out of that mold and get back to the small game, which I think is a big thing this year, is to really picking your spots deep as opposed to every other play throwing the ball downfield. Now, I've played some people that their favorite play and the only play they run is, I call the four dirties, because it doesn't matter what formation you're out of. Four verticals sometimes burns me, but for the Lions, I think the key is let the defense do their job, keep the ball short, let your playmakers make plays. Next, I kind of want to show you what's going on in Jacksonville. At least my opinion after speaking with Dean Fleming, who owns the Jaguars, and kind of discussing some things with him. So I kind of set up some scenarios for you for this part of the episode. Let me go back, make sure we can see this. Can we see this?
Yep.
Fantastic. See, that's why I'm glad you're here. So a lot of times what I'm seeing out of Jacksonville is they come out into a big set, what I like to call a heavy set. Your standard, your old school package. Sometimes they're going to line up with a tight end. fullback, quarterback. Typically you don't see a 3 wide out of something like this. And really what that's allowing to happen is when I'm going to play this is you're seeing a lot of blitzers. You're seeing a lot of pressure up front. And what's happening when you have one of the best running backs in the game is that these blitzes are bottling this up. And this is definitely happening to these guys in the red zone. They keep getting into the red zone. They're trying to really make these short runs inside, and it's just getting stuffed. So ultimately what happens, you see, we run this, is that the Jags then go into a shotgun set or a pistol shot where they come out ready to throw. If he's going to go into this big set, though, I'd like to see him maybe run some play action out of this, maybe throw the ball a little bit more out of this instead of coming out first down, and everybody's seeing it. It's Jamal Charles. He's led the league. He's been in the top of the league for a while running the ball. If people want the Jags to beat him, they don't want him to beat him on the ground, so they're going to force him to throw. Now, when he comes out in a 4 wide, what you're going to see is a lot of times a lot of cover 3, a lot of drop coverage from him, because now we're seeing personnel, and guys are bringing out some nickel packages, some dime packages, and so I'll just kind of play this for you. This is the other thing we see. This is going to lead to 7 interceptions last week for the Jaguars, which is unheard of for one game, and they really need to get to some other things here. But let me just play this one for you.
Now the second thing we're going to see here is what else the Jags see. They come out in their spread formation. 3 wide receivers, Julius Thomas, and they see some cover 3, especially down here in the red zone where it gets ballooned up. I mean, there's nobody open. Cutler's not mobile enough to run. And really, he's having a hard time finding an open receiver, which leads to the 7 interceptions he had last week, really just on a bunch of cover 3 formations. So you can find some underneath stuff. But really, he's looking for a big play, and he's trying to punch it in. Really, all he's getting is that underneath. You see everything else, it's really covered here. What I'd like to see him do is he uses personnel, get the ball to Charles and let him get into some space, pick up the 5 or 6 yards, use the personnel correctly. Now he's got some room, calls an audible. We're going to go to Charles again. We're going to make a nice shift inside, and another 7 yards. These are the things that we need to see more of from Jacksonville in order for them to be successful. Using the personnel, seeing the defense, and making the right calls. I spent a lot of time with him last week. I think that he's going to turn things around. We'll see this week when he faces the Steelers. A big matchup for both of them. The Jags need to win, otherwise their season's over. Steelers, after a loss to the Bucs, they really need this win too, because their schedule just doesn't get any easier.
Do we hear that all right? Was that good?
It was good.
That was good. We heard that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so not bad. And really, I mean, that's some vanilla stuff, and the idea is there, but I feel that the Jags come out and are too, they telegraph everything. They come out in a big formation and they run. They come out in a passing formation and they throw. So they don't spread the field and allow Charles to get in the room and make plays. Where some of the guys that are winning, that's what they're doing. With those fast running backs. I mean, Charles is a weapon that I don't feel like he's utilizing. I mean, especially in the red zone to throw. You got to remember the Jags gave up 22 passing yards last week. Really, the 7 turnovers. If they have 4 turnovers, they win that game. So they really, I mean, that's a key thing I think for them is to just work. Getting Julius Thomas the ball when they need to, but really making Charles the feature, but making him the feature more than when he's in those bunch formations and these weeks and those pros and those I-forms. Because to me, he's just telegraphing everybody. I think I'm going to take a small break if I can. And we will be right back.
You guys all done?
Nah, I just get tired of talking for a hot minute.
Give you some appreciation for the broadcasters of games and being able to talk for 3 hours.
I'm not just so you know, I'm not entirely sure that you've stopped recording.
Oh, I 100% didn't stop recording. It's okay. I just turned off my camera. Technical difficulties. These guys will like it. Ellis is going to like this when he's rolling the blunt. He's going to watch this when he's rolling the blunt. Now we'll do this. Oops, I didn't know that I was live. Sorry about that, Ellis. Oh, I hope you're not offended too much, buddy. We really appreciate you and the Panthers in the league. John, are you here?
Yeah.
John. Oh, now I can't hear him. So, was there any point of you that thought that you were going to let Scott beat you last week?
Say that again?
At any point, did you really think about letting Scott get the win last week because he might have needed it more?
No.
You know, a lot of people thought that. I was one of them for sure. I thought you'd keep it close, but you were going to let him win. It was more important for him than it was for you. But I guess that pride, you know, that Powerball championship and the pride meant too much for you. You only get to play him once every 4 years. So you've got to make it count.
Why not keep that domination going just in case he happens to make it to the Powerball by some luck? Then I still want to be in his head, you know.
I'm surprised it was close. I figured maybe you weren't lying. Maybe you haven't still figured out how to play offense. Did you run the ball? Let's see.
You can see by the stats what I did. I spread it around to all my receivers, kept things pretty even. I did run the ball a good amount, but then again, I was up the entire second half. So
RG3 with not a single passing touchdown, though.
no.
Lamar Miller, 2 touchdowns. First 2 of the season?
No, I've been scoring most of my touchdowns with him because people, I drive the ball passing and then get to the red zone and they're so spread out to try and stop the receivers that I just take the easy run up the middle.
Which is funny you said that. It's exactly what I'm talking about that I feel the Jags aren't doing. And you're seeing the defense and you're responding.
Yep.
So who you got this week? The Saints. Now I think you're going to crush those guys. The key really for me was to just put Manziel on a contain and hope that hope he makes a couple mistakes. But here, I mean,
if I lose, I will be very disappointed in myself.
you haven't thrown a lot of touchdown passes. I know that you said that you're going to throw 3 to 1 receiver this week. Which one is it? Have you decided?
Which one was that, Steven? You said whoever my lowest rated one. He said it had to be.
I believe we went with Heron, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that's what we went with.
All right. Challenge accepted, but I still never got an answer. What is my achievement for unlocking this feat?
I mean, I guess the numbers are a little skewed here, but it's kind of a surprise to me. Maybe not a surprise, but the Rams. I mean, Romo's got the best passer rating in the game right now. He's near perfect. Little bit of surprise. Maybe they're a running team. Obviously, E.J. Manuel up there for most yards. I'm sure that 3/4 of them have come from Antonio Gates. The Colts boy Sam Bradford, touchdowns.
So we got to take the Rams game with mine and those stats from that game. Got a chance to throw
That's
them
true.
out.
I forgot. Yeah. So yours and mine because of both of them. So those numbers definitely are a little skewed. I mean, so I guess really your passing leader, I mean, in terms of rating, would have to be Tom Brady, which that doesn't surprise me. The Vikings throw the ball well. They've always thrown the ball well, except for the one year they decided they want to run it with Felix Jones. Jay Cutler, 14 interceptions. I guess when you throw 7 interceptions in one game, it's really gonna hurt your stats. I don't know if the Packers have a terrible line. Foles definitely 19 sacks. That's not good. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them probably came against the Lions. But you'd like to see that fixed a little bit. If you had to guess, who would you say led the league in rushing yards right now? I think we lost John.
I think you have to look at LaShawn McCoy.
He's not. McCoy's not even really top 10.
God, I don't know. Lacey's been racking up some yards.
Yeah, Lacey getting hurt doesn't help. McCoy's nowhere near the top 10. Denard Robinson, the Raiders have really run the ball well. I mean, that's why they've won some games. I think surprising and maybe not surprising is why the Broncos have struggled so much is because they haven't quite figured out how to get McCoy going. I mean, McCoy's got 247 rushing yards. He's only averaging, and 4 yards a carry isn't terrible. He's averaging 82 yards a game, but when they win, he's averaging much more than that. I mean, you want to see McCoy up over 100 for the Broncos to be successful. The Vikings are running the ball as well as passing. Jerick McKinnon averaging 115 yards a game. But Denard Robinson clearly in front, 124 yards a game. This one will be an easy one. Obviously, the guy that leads the league in receiving receptions is going to be Gates, but it's a two-headed monster in Washington. Kenny Britt leads the league in yards, overrun by the Colts guy, Rob Gronkowski. Not a surprise there. Both of those guys. Gronk is key, but to me, with the Colts team, there's just so many weapons that Gronk just almost gets forgot by the defense until it's too late. You think that he's the guy that's not going to kill you because of the speed, and all of a sudden you find him on a seam, find him on an out route, a couple broken tackles, and we're in trouble. Mario Williams. Wow. Mario Williams leads the league in sacks right now, which is surprising. I guess I don't pay attention to the Patriots too much. I don't pay attention a lot to the AFC East. Sorry, guys. It's always the 8-8 teams that are making the playoffs, and they don't go very far. I don't see very much out of them. So your boy Antonio Cromartie, 8 interceptions for 4 games. That's 2 interceptions a game. I mean, that's unheard of. And guys just keep throwing it at him. You got to wonder, when are guys going to stop throwing at Cromartie? Try someone else. I don't know if it's maybe he's always on the number one guy, but when you look at these numbers, that's not the guy I want to throw a ball near. I don't know if the Colts move him around a lot. I don't know if they just keep him in one spot, but he's a big reason for 4-0 and that defense being so good. I'm pretty sure still the Colts have not allowed a red zone touchdown. I know someone's going to challenge that and try to score one this weekend, but it's still impressive after 4 games, 0 touchdowns. I think that's really, the important stats in terms of through 4 weeks of the National Madden League. Other than that, I guess, early playoff predictions.
I think the question has to be asked, Hoyt. Which team is going to be the last undefeated team? There are currently only 2.
Oh, it's just the Colts and Cowboys. It's tough, and I hate to say it because I feel it's going to be. I can't even say it. I want to say the Cowboys, and the only reason I want to say the Cowboys is because the schedule's easier. We've got the Texans. We've got the Texans next. Which, don't get me wrong, the Texans are 3-1. The Texans have played well, but I feel that the Cowboys have typically had their number in the past. And then after that, let me look at the schedule real quick, just so we can.
Haven't the Cowboys had trouble with Washington in the past?
Yes, that's very true. And we always split with them, and that could definitely be, a tough game. If you look at the Cowboys, we've got the Texans. The Seahawks are kind of an unknown. That could be a good game. The Giants are too one-dimensional, I think. I think if you're looking right now, I think the Redskins are a possibility for that first loss for Dallas in Week 8. The Cardinals, I don't see it from. The Jags, I just think that I know them too well for them to really do anything. But you look at that schedule, then I got the Giants again, the Eagles, who recently we've outplayed the Bears, Eagles, and then, maybe if all things go said and done, that Week 16 game will mean a little bit to both teams. And we'll see just who wants to stay undefeated. The Colts schedule, much tougher. The Ravens, it's a good matchup. They're going to get the Texans this week, who've played well. And sometimes they beat the Colts last year. They've played them tough. Bengals is a wash. Steelers, the Colts don't want to talk about the Steelers because the Steelers have really owned them. Giants will be an easy one. Patriots, Jags, own both of those guys. Redskins, Browns. So really not as tough, I would say, as I thought it was. I mean, the 3 big chances, I think, are going to be your Ravens, Steelers, Browns, one of those teams. So maybe it is going to be the Colts. The Colts have a better overall team, and they've really dominated. Dallas has won a lot of close games. The Rams game was close. Last week was probably their most convincing win. Maybe the 49ers wasn't too bad, but to barely sneak out of Tennessee, it's a good win, but really they wanted to dominate that game. You look at how the Colts played them. I mean, that's how the Cowboys wanted to play the Titans, 38-10, something like that, and not 38-35. It'll be interesting.
Well, I am hearing out of the Colts camps they're definitely wanting to make a statement against the Ravens. I know the Ravens have been coming out and throwing the ball quite a bit, and from what I'm hearing, the Colts are really looking to shut that down.
Well, that's the dangerous thing for the Ravens is I really think that the teams that are going to win this year and are going to be successful are teams that can be multi-dimensional. I mean, that one-dimension team that you're getting, I mean, that's just able to throw the ball, that's just able to run the ball. It's not working in the NML anymore. I mean, the Vikings made a run one year with just really running the ball. I mean, when the Cowboys won, I mean, we really didn't run the ball well. I mean, we had a lot of passing, and really, then it was just let's try to get the ball last. I mean, let's make it. If it has to be 63-63, then I want to just get the ball last so I can score. It's changing a little bit. Defenses are getting better. Guys are drafting for defense, and you're seeing less guys trading corners and trading edge rushers because they want those guys, those quick corners, those quick edge rushers, those guys that can actually make a difference in a game on a defense. And if you stack the box and you run and you run and you run and you run, or you're going to throw, you make it a lot easier to stop. And you're seeing guys that come out in passing formations and run, and come out and run formations and pass. Those are your guys that are getting successful. Besides the Lions, who just have the Pro Bowl team. Playoff predictions. 6 NFC teams, I think, are going to make the playoffs as of now. Cowboys, Panthers, Bucks, Vikings. I'm going to go with the Lions, and I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win that. I'm sorry, I'm going to go with the Rams to win that division. What was I thinking? The Rams, even though, surprisingly enough, the Rams are not in first place. They're behind the Cardinals and the Seahawks, but a little bit tougher of a schedule so far. Those games are going to get back to them. AFC, Colts, obviously. Patriots are going to walk away with the East. That's going to be the first time that division is going to get decided early. Chiefs Raiders is going to be tough. So I might have to go now because I accidentally sent Andy a invitation to play our game tonight, and he just sent me an invitation that said let's play. And I don't know if I'm really ready for that right now after this, this long episode that we had out. But what do you think? You think I should go for it?
I think the Cowboys are ready for anything.
Come on, you know you're not going to lose to Andy.
We can't be saying that on the air. Come on.
I'm hearing that Houston is liking to throw the ball this year. Although last week they only threw for 40 yards and still got the win. They ran on the back of Alfred Morris. So sounds like if Dallas can stop that run and maybe block up the middle there on those slants, then they'll be in a position to walk away with a victory.
All right, well, maybe we're going to do this. We're at about our 30-minute time limit. I know week one's a little blotchy. We've got to work on some things, a little bit better of a game plan, a little bit more smooth talking. It's been a while since I had to talk for 30 minutes. I mean, I like to hear myself talk. There's no doubt about that. You could ask my girlfriend. She'll tell you that. But other than that, anything else anybody wants to say?
It's a good start.
Excellent. I want to thank John for showing up. I invite some people when you watch it. If you want to get invited in the future, maybe you want to talk about your matchup. Maybe you want to come on and talk about some trades. I know that soon we'll have some trade rumors going about, and I'm sure I'll get text messages during the show just for people to just kind of, guys they want to get rid of, guys that they're looking to add, those types of things. Those will definitely be in the future. We'll get better. I'm glad we did it, and until next week, guys. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, John. Thanks, Steven. Hooters Hangout, out.
Send me all your picks. Okay, thanks.